desafiando a los dioses. Con intensidad luchemos, no te rindas aun si perdemos, más fuerte será.
What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to be doing a what if. Basically, I haven't done this what if in a long time, but I knew you guys would want it, so possibly want it. You guys crashed the light goal last time, so this light goal will be 150. If you can make it all the way up to there, I will make a part 3. But yeah, this is going to be what if Deku was the lion sin of pride in another world, or basically the Earth's lion sin. So, where we last left off was basically Deku was being trained by, well, technically the daughter of Merlin, and what's her name? His name freaking Escanor, and her name is Rita. Rita, R-H-I-T-T-A, Rita. So, basically, after training with him, Izuku, for the past couple of years, has just became a little more tougher. And not only that, pretty much Izuku just does whatever he does nowadays. I mean, he doesn't do nothing out of the ordinary. That's pretty much the thing that he's used to doing. So, how would I say this? Izuku, after training with her, she has talked about her father and all that stuff, and how powerful how strong, how magic works. And not only that, she's been talking about how, like, her father is the same way as him. Izuku has the same tattoo. And the thing is, a lot of you guys wanted the shield. So, I don't know whether you guys want the sword or the shield. I could do both in a way. I could somewhat do it. Because, yeah, this could fit Izuku's character instead of a sword. But, who knows. Now, Izuku fought freaking different people before. And not only that, Izuku's just lived with Rita for a while. Because here's the thing. Rita's magic, she can do a lot of things with it. She can even make people believe that she is this another person. Not only that, her Inko and Hisashi basically went to another country, leaving Izuku to be by himself. Why? Because they need to work. They have to work, otherwise they won't be able to do a lot for Izuku, and money is tight, so basically that is it. I didn't want to go for the depressing routes, not because it was just sad, but it was more the fact that there really doesn't need to be a depressing route for this one. Basically, their parents are not always home. So, Izuku was just, going places with her at times, taking care of her, because she isn't, she is her, but she's not actually very good at maintaining things. If you know what I'm trying to say, basically Izuku has to clean and help her out at times and cook, because yeah, she sucks at cooking, and gosh does she suck at cooking like crap. She almost burned the house down because she thought if she can cook a piece of meat within a short amount of time, she thought, hey, why not just use Cruel Sun? It would work, right? It's not like it's going to burn 1,000,000 degrees, or depending on how hot Cruel Sun is. Yeah, either way, freaking Izuku said, nope, no. Let me help you out. I'm gonna cook. Just let me do it, because I don't trust you at all with cooking. After that, cooking up a meal, she said, alright, you're going to stay with me for a while. I know this is going to be sad for you, but Izuku just says, no, it doesn't really feel sad. Wait, what? No, I'm not sad at all. I'm actually glad that you're taking me in. I am in your care. And this is when she says, all right, all right. But then after that, she realizes, wait a minute, you're the one who's supposed to be helping me. I'm in your, sheesh. I'm supposed to be in your care, Izuku. No, 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 no. And after all that, all Izuku just did was pretty much nothing else besides talking with her. And they debated for a while, and they say that he's going to help her out with learning how to cook and clean, because sometimes he's not going to be there, so he needs her, so he's going to help her. Rita just says, oh boy. I don't want to clean and I don't want to cook. Why? Why must I do that? And this is when Izuku says, by technicality, we're both young. We're both the same age. But you can't clean or cook at all. And after that, let's just say one of those like metal pots or pans that they use for cleaning or just falls down on freaking on Rita's head. Just like one of those things, just like hitting her in the head. And then after that, he just says, I mean, that's kind of shameful for someone who learns a high amount of magic to not know how to cook or clean. And this is when another one, bigger than that, hits her in the head. And after that, he says, wait a minute. If that's the case, couldn't you just use your magic to clean? I mean, you must have something like that. You didn't just think about destruction and illusion magic all this time, did you? And another one hits her straight in the head. What's it called? After all that, he just says, oh boy, let me guess. You went to school, but without knowing anything about schoolwork, huh? Do you even do your homework? And this is when she says, I am one of the most powerful magicians or magic users ever. I have the power to technically change people's minds or persuade them to be the richest people in the world. Not only that, my power of the sun is so powerful that people can just bow down to me on a whim. And this is when Izuku says, so you don't do homework, is what I'm getting. And this is when she says, yeah, I do homework at times. I mean, I do it. It's just not very fun. Izuku just says, it's not supposed to be fun. Let's just go. Now, by this time, they are technically 11. So we're just going to skip 2 years later because there's nothing else to do besides the whole freaking Merlin teleported. And she actually talked with Izuku. Oh, yes, they talked. Not only that, basically, when she saw Izuku, she wanted to hug him. He's too lovable. Because Izuku just has that face where it's just like, oh, that's nice. All that stuff. Merlin just holds him and stuff. And then freaking Rita just says, Mom, why are you doing? Get off of him. She just tells him to get off of him and all that stuff. Pretty much all that happening. And Izuku just says, but she just wanted to be nice. And this is when Rita says, knowing my mother, she would want to do experiments on you. And if you guys are thinking those kinds of experiments, that's a possibility. This is Merlin, for all we know. Not only that, if you guys want to watch another high school universe thing, watch Patrick's or Diomedes Rouge, because he's actually doing a Escanor one right now, which is possibly better than mine, but it's still good nonetheless. So, after all that stuff happens, basically Izuku just sees her, and then they just say their goodbyes and all that stuff. Rita just says, oh boy, my mother's sometimes a pain. And this is when Izuku says, what do you mean? And this is when freaking Rita says, yeah, I forgot to tell you, like I said, my father, he's the same way as you. So the fact being that I don't know why or how, but shouldn't you be a little more taller every time you transform? Because you do get taller, but you're not as tall as my dad. He becomes this one skinny man, and then he turns into this behemoth. And this is when Izuku just says, I don't really know about that. Probably because of the fact that I'm still a kid. And this is when she says, Alright, I guess that does make sense. So, yeah, that's pretty much all that happened around 2 years ago. Now we get to them as 13. Rita and Izuku are just basically, you know, close to each other, closer than usual, or close to each other. Not only that, Bakugo and his cronies try to bully them, but Rita usually just takes him out by just pretty much using his illusion magic. And not only that, they pretty much, every time they lose, and when I mean lose, they just lose, because you can't really beat Merlin's and Escanor's child. Rita just uses a tiny, cruel sun, which explodes upon impact, which one of those things explodes upon impact, and not only that, they just explode to the point where it causes a lot of damage, but not too much, to the point where basically Bakugo is just on the ground, dazed. Not only that, freaking other people around them are dazed. Izuku just, you know, picks her up, and just, you know, it's like picking up a cat. He just picks up the cat, picks up Rita, and just says, alright, let's go. Alright, you've done enough damage here. And this is when Rita says, would you let go of me? As much as I like this, I do not like the fact that I'm being manhandled by someone who isn't going to fight them themselves. And this is when Izuku says, I'm not manhandling you. I'm just handling you. And the fact that I'm being a man has nothing to do with this. It's more the fact that it's my decision if I want to fight them or not. In due time, I will fight them. And they're going to regret it. So you have nothing to fear, Rita. And this is when she says, jeez. Because here's the thing. She has like that weird, pathetic morals thing. Kind of like Zamazu. But at the same time, she's kind of a ditz. Little bit. To the point where sometimes she's like, okay, whatever, just, it's like, it hurts her brain at times. The fact that he's not standing up for himself. So, basically, it's the end of the school year. Let's see, Bakugo says, oh yeah, I'm going to be the #1 hero. And this is when Izuku just says, yeah, right. And this is when Bakugo says, huh? Do you want to come at me? I'm the strongest one. Not only that, I'm going to be the #1 hero, and you're going to be some loser who's just working at a shipyard. You'll be even lucky if they allow you to actually be CEO of a company. And this is when pretty much he's just like talking crap about him, saying that he's going to be #1. And this is when Izuku just gets a little irritated because he's just always crapping on Izuku. And Izuku's a prideful kind of person. You can't just do that to him. And Izuku just says, who decided that? And this is when Bakugo says, what? I said, who decided that? You're going to be the #1 hero. Who decided that? I'm going to work at a freaking shipyard or whatever you said. Who decided that? You said I was going to be a CEO if I'm lucky enough in life? Who decided that? I am going to be the #1 hero. I'm going to do what's best. And I'm going to protect the world with my strength. Because I'm someone who is stronger than all of you. And this is when Rita just gets these little chills. And she's like, oh gosh, he sounds just like my father at times. And it's kind of cool. That is what she's thinking right now. And Izuku just starts to just somewhat heat up the room. And all of them are sweating, including Bakugo. And Izuku just says, you are someone who is weaker than me. And I pity you because all this time I thought you were going to stop. I thought you were going to realize your mistakes. But you didn't. I truly pity you as a human. Even though I'm a human as well. I am the one who stands above all. And this is when he grabs him. And this is when he just choke slams him to the floor. The guy does... The teacher does not do a thing. Because he knows that this is just weird. And Izuku is just being blasted by freaking Bakugo. Bakugo is exploding him. Not only that, a lot of freaking power is just being pushed towards Izuku's chest. And a couple of seconds later, when the smoke clears, Bakugo says that you should be lucky that I didn't kill you as much. And this is when Izuku says, who decided that? And this is when Bakugo says, wait, what? And this is when all they see is basically Izuku with his clothes torn, burnt, and his muscles are showing. Now, Izuku's not buff like freaking Escanor, but he is somewhat, how would I say this, toned. His power, he's on the leaner side. But he's not muscular at all. He's much more toned out. Not only that, muscular in some ways in form. But Izuku just says, I truly pity you, Bakugo. It does not affect me as much. Probably because I pity you, probably because I'm just that strong. But who knows? It's not going to affect me. And this is when freaking Rita just looks at him and says, he just survived that much pain. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but this is not every day that he just doesn't use his full strength. Or not full strength, he doesn't go this way. He really changes his attitude when he turns like this. And this is when she grabs a notebook and just starts scribbling down, alright, 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 look at that. Huh, this is going to be interesting. And after all that happening, pretty much Izuku just grabs him, and Bakugo says, what are you going to do? And this is when Izuku just says, oh, nothing really. Grabbing his leg instead of his throat, because Bakugo was choking a bit, and pretty much Izuku just throws him out of the window. And this is when the bell rings, and he just jumps out of there, and he lands on freaking Bakugo, and then jumps up again, pushing Bakugo even further down, to the point where even if he uses his explosions, it won't actually make it softer. He still has to like go 100% to even stop himself. But that's pretty much how Izuku works now. Deep down inside, his power just festers with raw emotions and intensity due to the sun itself. And Izuku just goes, and pretty much Merlin just starts flying towards him. And this is when basically she walks next by him, or is floating with him, and she's saying, you know, this is actually kind of the first time I saw you like this, like truly doing this on your own free will. And this is when Izuku just says, what, do you think it's that bad? And she says, no, It's just not every day you get to see that. And Izuku just says, yeah, I know. It's just more fun for me. And this is when she says, how strong are you right now? And Izuku says, right now? And this is when Rita says, yeah. This is when Izuku smiles, starts walking off, saying, for some reason, I feel like I can take on the whole world. And she's thinking to herself, that may sound like a bold statement, but that truly feels like he can do it. Izuku can actually possibly do it if he truly, pushed himself to the limit. But that's the scary part. The fact that even Rita thinks that he's not playing around. Now, they go out, and not only that, pretty much since Izuku, applied for UA, they actually accepted him, but Izuku's still going to do his whole, oh, I'm going to be 100%, doing this, or doing that. Or, wait, what? Hold on here. No. I think I kind of screwed up on what I said. They just said, oh, you can join us, we'll give you the recommendation, since how strong you are. And not strong, per se, but because of his abilities, he actually tried. And they thought about giving it to him, since he did pass, because he's very smart as a human. He's not Rita's intelligence, because she's very smart. But at the same time, Izuku is smart enough to actually get at least a recommendation. Not only that, strong enough to at least be known as someone who has a little bit more physical strength than the average person, when Izuku's not even trying. So, yeah, pretty much Izuku is just going full throttle. And not only that, Izuku is just pretty much a good person in all general. I forgot. In most likely, he's genuine. He's a genuine person, not general. Jeez. So when Izuku was talking with Rita, they were just going to their freaking rooms and all that stuff. And this is when Izuku just, goes out somewhere, because All Might does his whole I am here, and I got the sludge villain, and that is a good thing to know, people. So yeah, pretty much that happens. After all that stuff, after the sludge villain incident, 10 months have passed, and Izuku has been training his body even more. And he looks like that. He looks like the Izuku right there. I forgot who made the art, but yeah, pretty much he's going to have that outlook on that armor. And Rita's going to be the one that makes it. Not only that, she's the one who's going to give him, she's going to make her own armor or something like that. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about, to be honest. Which always surprised me, because I thought Merlin was the actual sin of lust. No, she's the sin of gluttony. As weird as that sounds, that's so freaking bizarre. And I hope that I'm right, because I think the sin of lust is Gother. But anyway, Izuku, after all that stuff happens, Izuku just, how do I say this? Oh yeah, I forgot. Escanor met Izuku, and these two were chummy with each other. They didn't actually show each other their true power. And pretty much Izuku just says, it's alright, let me help you out. And freaking Escanor was just saying, oh, no, please, allow me. I wouldn't want to do that, since you help out my daughter so much and you take care of her. And freaking Merlin says, it's alright, he can help you out. This This is when Rita and Merlin are just talking with each other. Because Escanor is going to train him. Now, Escanor has a shield that Merlin made. And not only that, how would I say this? This is going to be an actual shield called Nebula. Nebula is... Give me a second here, people. I always hate when I screw it up, but... Alright. So, this is going to be the shield that Izuku gets from Merlin. And I know it looks a little flashy in a way, but at the same time, it's like Escanor's axe is a really more shiny and flashy than this. This is just basic metal. And like it was made by Merlin so that way he can protect himself and others. This is the sword that's going to be used because freaking Izuku's father found it, and it's called Apollonius. Basically what the sun god used once, or what the sun god used from back then. So with all that happening, I just decided to give him that kind of weapon. Nothing too fancy, and this doesn't look fancy at all. Basically, it's just a regular one. But these are just two swords in general, so Izuku's going to have both. And basically, it's a weird way of shifting. This is a shift sword, so basically it will turn into a more Japanese-style blade, and this one a European blade. And hopefully, I got this right. So, what happens is this. Izuku just fights with freaking Escanor, and the fight happens because Izuku has electricity in a way. For some reason, electricity emits from his body, but it's the sun as well that emits from him. So he doesn't know why he has this kind of power. But he just knows is that he's just going to fight freaking Escanor. So the fight happens, and basically Izuku slashes his sword right into slashed the sword right into Escanor's face. Escanor just blocked it with his hand and just smacked it out of the way. Escanor just punches freaking Izuku, but Izuku had his shield ready. Not only that, when that happened, Izuku just punches freaking Escanor right into his jaw, and Izuku just gets punched right under from Escanor. Not only that, Escanor grabs his legs and slams him down to the ground. But this is when freaking Escanor just kicks him again, or kicks at him. This is when Rita doesn't know who to cheer for, but this is when Merlin says, "Kick his ass, dear. Fight him. Just beat him up. Don't worry about it. I'll heal him later." And this is when Rita's all like, "No one talks to my man that way." And this is when Merlin says, "Oh, he's your man." And this is when she says, "Izuku win." So Izuku just gets serious and just starts running. And he just blocking a couple of punches. Not only that, even though he's weaker than Escanor, at the same time, he's also strong as Escanor. Because he has Escanor's abilities in a way. But even Izuku can't handle all that power right now. And gets just flung. Is flung from a different side. And this is when Izuku just gets slammed into a wall. But this is when Izuku just gets kind of mad. And his hair starts to turn red. And this is when he just charges in and kicks freaking Escanor right into the gut. And after that, Izuku uses a cruel sun, a small one, and just throws it at him. And Escanor doesn't know what happened, but Izuku just exploded the cruel sun to block his view of vision. And this is when Escanor just slices the freaking cloud. Even though he got exploded, it doesn't faze him as much, or it doesn't faze him. And the moment that happens, Escanor just saw Izuku kick him straight into the face. Now, Izuku gets punched. Escanor gets punched. It's kind of weird saying that. But Escanor just gets back up and uppercuts freaking Izuku Izuku just feeling the full force of his fist. After that, Izuku just grabbing it, because he knew he was going to fly, and this is when Izuku just slams his feet down to the ground, but swoops under freaking Escanor's legs, and actually doing some kind of weird move, flipping over Escanor in the process, and this is when Izuku just slams his fist with all his might, and Escanor feels it and says, this is a worthy match. You are actually strong enough to handle me at just regular. And this is when Izuku says, wait, what? This is when Endeavor just says, cruel sun. And this is basically, he just summons up a sun and just slams it down, and Izuku just grabs it with both hands. Seeing how hot it is, Izuku knows what he has to do. He gets, what's called, very mad, but then just gets to the point that electricity starts crackling off of him. And Izuku just, after doing all that stuff, pretty much just throws it out and just punches him straight into the face. After all that happens, pretty much Escanor just says, you're strong, Izuku. I actually respect that of you. And this is when freaking Izuku says, yeah, you're not too bad yourself, old man. And this is when Escanor says, I may be an old man, but I could still teach you a trick or two about actual strength. And Izuku just says, then bring it on. And these two are just about to get ready, slamming their fist slamming each fist towards each other. After all that happens, basically a freaking... Okay. Where was I at right now? Oh, yeah. So they just slammed their fists into each other. They slammed both of their fists towards each other, and basically caused a bit of a ripple, to the point where it felt like two suns just slammed into suns just slammed into each other, and then just caused this big heat wave that felt very weird towards people around Tokyo or Japan. They don't know why. They just thought of it as probably a weird anomaly or somebody using the quirk. And pretty much it's just, the news just said it was just like, pretty much when the heat at times goes somewhere and something science. When, never mind. But, this is when Merlin just says, all right, you two stop. Gosh, you guys almost caused a big explosion to happen. And this is when Izuku says, I didn't think we were causing any explosions, ma'am. And this is when she says, yeah, you weren't. Because I was the one who teleported that explosion. I'm very good with my magic, Izuku. Jeez. So, Escanor. Hold on, wait. So, dear. What do you think about Izuku? This is when Escanor just says, yes, he is actually a strong person. To be honest, I was about to get serious with him. And this is when Rita says, wait, what? And this is when Escanor says, oh yeah, I was going to be going a little bit more serious with him. And Izuku just says, wait, you weren't serious at all? But you said it was time to get serious. This is when freaking Escanor just says, yes, I told you I was going to get serious. But that doesn't mean I was actually going to get serious. Izuku just complains about, like, that's kind of messed up due to the fact that Izuku used his weird form, and electricity was popping out of his body, not knowing why. He may think that he probably has a quirk, even though he was told that he was born quirkless. And the only thing he does remember as a child is using the heat all around him. He's not going to go into detail with it, but he does know that right now he's just got to get home because he's hungry and he's going to make stuff. So basically, they joined for quite a while. They said, "Oh, this is I forgot. We bought this house. Well, technically, I made this house, and it's a good thing that none of you guys actually broke it, or none of you guys did anything with it." And this is when freaking Merlin just looks at her daughter, and she's like, "Wait, why are you looking at me for? Look at him. He's the boy." And this is when Merlin says, he may be a boy, but he has class, and he's a very nice person. Not only that, he takes care of you. The only person who I'm scared of doing this kind of stuff is you, young lady. And this is when basically Escanor says, "Don't mind these two. They're the same person in a way. Not really, but they have their same, their attitude is kind of weird." And this is when Merlin says, "What did you say, dear?" And this is when Escanor just says, "Oh, nothing, dear. Don't worry about that," because he's in his skinny form. That pride is no longer there. And this is basically when Escanor just says, "Jeez, do you guys want something to drink?" And basically Izuku says, "Yeah, sure." And this is when he gives him a bottle of wine, red wine. Doesn't really want mine. Chatello. Or Russia. It's basically either Russian or German wine. I forgot which one it is. Chasiel. I really don't know about that much about wine these days. But either way, Izuku just says, "Wait a minute, you guys drink wine? I never even knew that." And this is when Rita says, "Yeah, it tastes good." And this is when basically freaking, what's her face? This is when basically Merlin says, "You're not supposed to drink a lot, Rita." This is when Rita says, "It's fine. What's the worst that could happen?" And this is when freaking Merlin just starts pinching her cheeks. And he says, "Oh, okay. I won't drink that much." She says, "That much," which means you're going to drink a lot still. And this is when she starts pinching her cheeks, and pretty much Merlin says, "Teleport, absolute cancel." And this is when freaking Rita just says, "Wait, what? Oh yeah, you forgot. I can still do that." And this is when pretty much Izuku just says, "All right, I'll just be over there." And yeah, pretty much that all happens. Over the 10 months, Izuku was getting trained by Escanor, and actually Izuku got much more powerful. So that's pretty much it right there. Now, I'm going to leave it off here, because I know that I'm going to be doing other ones right now, and I'm going to speed run through a lot of my videos. And yeah, so like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout What If here. Bye.